The Chicago Bears will look to get things right against Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers this weekend at Soldier Field. Can they do it? Watch this video to find out. What's up, guys? I'm back with the Chicago Bears prediction videos, which I'll be doing every single week this year. So if you guys want more prediction videos from me, more Bears content in general, subscribe to this channel. But in today's video, I'll be talking about the matchup coming up between the Bears and the Niners on Sunday. And guys, I will actually be going to this game, okay? The first game I'm going to this season, the first regular season game I'm going to also since November of 2018, which the last game I went to was the Sunday Night Football game against the Vikings, which that was a blast, okay? That was one of the best experiences of my entire life, you know, being at a sports game. So I'm really looking forward to being at Soldier Field this weekend, even though there's a lot wrong with the Bears, okay? There's a lot wrong with our offense, with bunch of parts of our team, but I'm still gonna have a blast. I'm still gonna enjoy my time there. Hopefully get to meet some of you guys there as well. So if you guys see me, be sure to say hi, take a picture, say what's up, whatever. I'd love to meet with you guys. But talking about this game, guys, so it's gonna be Jimmy Garoppolo versus Justin Fields. Going into this matchup, I thought that there might be a small chance that we get Trey Lance, the 49ers pick this year, the number 3 overall pick, their quarterback, versus our quarterback, Justin Fields. That'd be such a fun matchup if it actually happened. But according to Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be playing in this game. Okay, Trey Lance should be fully healthy though by the time this game starts, so he will be, available to use on certain downs like they have been doing practically this entire season. So, on certain rushing downs, maybe near the goal line, they might use Trey Lance. But the full-time quarterback here is probably going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, to be quite honest, guys, okay, the Bears have been in complete turmoil for the last 2 weeks. Okay, everybody calling for Matt Nagy's head, which is justifiable. I mean, he's been here for so long. We still don't have a good offense here in Chicago. A lot of people calling for Ryan Pace's head too. A lot of people just so mad at the Bears because of the 2-game losing streak that we've had, losing to Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. But this could be a get-right game for the Bears, okay? I'm not trying to jinx anything or anything. I'm just saying that the 49ers also have had their fair share of problems this year, guys, okay? Going into the season, a lot of people expected them to be in contention for, winning that division, winning the NFC West, but it's not looking like that's going to happen at this point in time, okay? They're 2-4 right now, struggling with some injuries like they pretty much do every single year. And they haven't beaten any good teams this year at all, okay? Their only wins are against the Lions and the Eagles, both bottom of the barrel football teams this year, okay? So the 49ers have not been impressive at all. A lot of fans are even calling for Kyle Shanahan to lose his job, which is kind of crazy. I mean, this guy led them to a Super Bowl a couple years ago, but you can see in the NFL, like, how impatient fans are, how impatient organizations are, and, Kyle Shanahan might be on the hot seat too. So this is going to be a battle, guys, of two franchises right now that are really struggling so far this season to live up to expectations, and hopefully the Bears can take advantage of that. I want to give you guys a rundown of both rosters before I begin my 3 keys to Bears victory. So starting with the 49ers and their offense. Okay, I'll talk about the 49ers offense so far this season, and they have been a very mediocre offense up until this point, okay? Right now, they're number 18 ranked in yards, they're number 19 in points, they're the number 20 passing offense, and number 12 rushing offense. So they haven't been horrible all across the board, but they also haven't been an elite top level offense in this league, okay? They're not getting a bunch of big explosive plays. They're not getting those 70, 80 yard touchdowns consistently that they have been getting in other seasons, okay? Obviously, DEEBO Samuel has been the only big play machine that they have, but aside from DEEBO Samuel, man, this 49ers offense has not gotten a lot of things going for it. But so far, man, it's been a pretty run-centric offense. That's pretty much a staple of the Kyle Shanahan offense, okay? It's a lot of rushing plays, a lot of creative rushing plays, a lot of counter-blocking schemes, a lot of zone blocking plays as well. So a lot of stuff going on at the line of scrimmage, which really enables this, 49ers rushing attack to have success, okay? It's probably one of the only things that they actually do very well on this offense, okay? They're number 10 in rushing attempts, so they average 28, rush attempts per game. And even though they lost their number 1 back, Raheem Mostert, for the season due to an injury, their backup, Elijah Mitchell, has also performed pretty well in his absence, okay? They actually traded up for Trey Sermon, though, this year. Justin Fields, running back at Ohio State, but Trey Sermon has not been used nearly as much as 49ers fans wanted him to be used. Okay, last game against the Colts, Trey Sermon didn't get any carries at all. So it's kind of puzzling why they're not using Trey Sermon in this offense at all. You would think that they would do like a 1-2 punch with Mitchell and Sermon, because Mitchell also is a rookie as well. But it seems like Mitchell has kind of ran away, pun intended, with the starting running back job. Okay, so Elijah Mitchell so far this season, he has 296 yards on 63 carries for 4.7 yards per carry. So Mitchell, man, with the speed, with this elusiveness, he's actually been having a good amount of success here in this rushing offense. But seems like so far Trey Sermon has not been used. We'll see if that changes in this game. Now, a big reason why the run game actually has success is because of the offensive line. Okay, all across the board, the 49ers offensive line is actually pretty damn good at run blocking. Okay, they're top 10 in the NFL in run blocking win rate. And obviously Trent Williams at left tackle, he's probably the best left tackle in the entire game. Okay, at pass blocking and at run blocking. And, you know, he is freaking elite. Okay, he might actually be their best player on the entire offense if you look at how dominant he is at his position. Now, he might actually not be playing, though, in this game. According to the injury report, he's questionable to be playing in the game coming up. So if Trent Williams doesn't play this week, guys, that's going to be a massive loss for the 49ers offense. And, you know, that's definitely going to impact the stuff that they can do on offense. So we'll see what happens with that. But they do also have Mike McGlinchey on the other side. He's also performed at a pretty high level. So they do have other great tackles. They have some decent, I would say, interior O-linemen. They haven't been great at pass blocking on the interior, but they've been pretty decent at run blocking. So it is a good rushing offense, guys. Okay, if this 49ers offense works, it's probably going to be because of the run game. But going to the passing attack now, it's been very lackluster because they only have one receiver that they actually throw to on this offense, and that is DEEBO Samuel. Okay, aside from DEEBO Samuel, practically nobody gets targets on this passing attack. Okay, DEEBO Samuel has how many? 63 targets so far this season. That's more than double the second highest highest targeted receiver. So clearly they're suffering from an imbalance on this offense. Like, all the targets are going to one guy, and that's usually not a good thing because it makes your offense kind of predictable. So DEEBO Samuel, man, even though he's been having a fantastic season, okay, this guy, after the catch, he is elite. He can put the moves on you. He has the speed to break big ones through. He has 648 total yards, 4 touchdowns as well. A lot of big plays. Okay, he's been the big play machine on this offense. But aside from DEEBO Samuel, they don't really have much of anything else. Okay, Brandon Ayuk, the highly drafted guy from last year, okay, he has not been getting many targets at all, and he's not really been a big factor in this offense. Same with Mohamed Sanu as well. So they have a limited amount of receiving depth on this team. I mean, personally, I think that Brandon Ayuk is pretty talented, but seems like he doesn't get enough snaps on this offense for whatever reason. And obviously their star tight end George Kittle has also not played for a couple weeks now, and he's expected to miss this game against the Bears also due to an injury, which if he actually misses this week, guys, that's going to be a big break for the Bears offense because we know how elite this guy is, okay, at blocking and also at receiving, okay, and once he's in the open field, he is impossible to bring down. So thankfully, we probably aren't going to be facing George Kittle, and DEEBO Samuel is probably going to be the only receiving threat to, mainly worry about. So that's the weapons that Jimmy Garoppolo has. And then talking about Jimmy Garoppolo himself, I mean, Jimmy G has not been a great quarterback so far this year, which is why they traded up to get Trey Lance this year in the draft. Okay, Jimmy G so far this year, he has 1,106 passing yards, 6 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and he's pretty much only been great on play action passes, guys. And that's obviously, that works because the running game is so damn elite. But as a pure, pocket passer, it feels like Jimmy Garoppolo has not been he's not been living up to the expectations that Kyle Shanahan has for him. Okay, he has a 103.8 passer rating on play action passes, but aside from that, he's been very inaccurate going down the field. He's been missing a lot of guys. The deep ball has not been working really, hasn't been consistent throughout entire games. So I think it's a matter of time till Kyle Shanahan turns to rookie quarterback Trey Lance, but it seems like he's not ready at this point in time. Now, Trey Lance still could be used on certain downs though in this game. Okay, he's probably going to be healthy for this matchup, so on the goal line he could be used on certain maybe running downs, or if Kyle Shanahan wants to confuse our defense, he could put Trey Lance in there because he is an equal threat at running the ball as he is, in passing the ball. Okay, so Trey Lance could be their secret weapon, but I don't anticipate him being used a whole lot in this game. Now, talking about the Niners defense, man, it's been pretty inconsistent throughout this year. Okay, they're good in certain areas, but all across the board, man, they've been allowing a lot of points so far this year. Okay, so they're number 6 ranked in yards given up. They're number 21 in points given up. They're number 5 pass defense and number 20 run defense. So clearly you can see they don't allow a whole lot of yards, but when you do get to the end zone, they have been horrible. Okay, they're number 26 in total red zone defense, so they allow a touchdown on 72.73% of red zone drives, which is horrible. Okay, they can't stop you once you actually get down there. But if you look at probably their, I would say, biggest stars in this defense right now, definitely the biggest one is Nick Bosa, one of the best edge rushers in the NFL still. They also got Eric Armstead as well. If you look at Nick Bosa, he has 23 pressures so far, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Eric Armstead has 19 pressures, 1 sack. So the edge rushing duo has probably been the best part of this defense so far. They can get pressure on the quarterback, but if you look at their secondary, it has some flaws on it, okay? They still have some talent like Jimmy Ward. They have Tart, okay, the safety duo, and they've been pretty good in coverage up to this point, okay? Not allowing many passes going deep, being pretty solid everywhere besides the red zone, okay? So they don't allow a whole lot of yards on them. If you look at their best cornerback, okay, Emmanuel Mosley, this guy's only allowed a passer rating of 59 total. So, you know, have one really good cornerback, have a good safety duo as well, but besides that, they have some holes at the other spots on the secondary, okay? So cornerback number 2, cornerback number 3, the depth behind that isn't that strong at this point in time. If you look at their best linebacker, then that's obviously Fred Warner. Okay, this guy made the All-Pro team last year. Very good all-around linebacker, solid in coverage, solid in run defense too. So in the middle of this 49ers defense, Fred Warner is a player to worry about. But probably the biggest flaw of this defense, guys, is that they can't turn the ball over at all. Okay, they only have 1 interception on the entire season. Okay, in all the games they've played, only 1 interception and only 4 total turnovers forced. So they really can't make many big plays. They can't turn the ball over to help their offense. And that's kind of the fatal flaw of this defense, okay? It obviously doesn't allow a lot of yards, but they're not good in the red zone. They can't turn the ball over, and that's, you know, what limits them from being a truly great defense. Talking about the Chicago Bears then, okay? Starting with their offense, and we are reaching new lows on the offensive side of the football in Chicago, which is just so crazy to say because I've said that so many times over the past couple of years, but it just keeps on getting worse. Okay, the Bears are number 32 in total yards per game. They're number 30 in points per game. Okay, we can't even average 15 points per game. We're a little bit below that. We're number 32 in passing offense. The one thing that we can do, though, is run the football because we're number 6 in total rushing offense. So it's a very broken offense, guys, all across the board. We can't put up points. We can't pass the football at all. But like I mentioned, the only thing we can do is run the football very well. Okay, we're top 7 in run block win rate. So the O-line, you know, run blocking wise actually has been very good. James Daniels has been one of the best run blocking guards in the NFL. Jason Peters also has been very good at run blocking at left tackle. So the O-line definitely has been good up front for our running backs. And speaking of our running backs, man, it seems like any of them can have success. Okay, David Montgomery was one of the best backs in the NFL until he went down. Then we had, you know, Damian Williams take over, but it was pretty much KHALIL Herbert that took over after that. Okay, and he's pretty much assumed the lead back duties on this team. Okay, he had 100 rushing yards last weekend against the best run defense in the entire NFL in the Buccaneers. So that was very impressive for the rookie to put up those numbers. And Herbert, man, he's flashed his potential pretty much every game he's played in so far this year. He already has 279 rushing yards. He's rushing for 4.8 yards per carry. So that blend of speed and power is really working well for this Bears run game. And we're also expected to get Damian Williams back from the COVID list for this game. So Williams could also share, you know, some carries here and there. Talking about the passing attack though, man, it is completely broken, okay? One of the worst passing attacks I've ever seen in my entire life as a Bears fan. It's not all on Justin Fields, guys, okay? Obviously, Justin Fields is a rookie and he is making some rookie mistakes, but there's a lot more wrong with this offense than only Justin Fields, okay? Justin Fields has been sacked 22 times so far this season, which is the most in the NFL percentage-wise. Okay, Justin Fields has been getting sacked on 14.4% of all passing plays, that's just absolutely ridiculous, guys. Now, obviously, like I mentioned, some of those sacks are on Fields for holding the ball too long, but a lot of the sacks, guys, are actually on the offensive line and also on Matt Nagy and Bill Lazor. They're not scheming guys open, okay? There's not, like, for example, when a blitz is coming, a lot of times there's no place for Fields to actually go with the football. There's no route that's shallow or meant to beat the blitz. Our coaching staff really is not drawing up plays that help Justin Fields counteract these blitzes and all the pressure that opposing teams are throwing at him. And even rushing just 4 guys, other defenses have been able to get pressure on our offensive line because, man, we have the worst center in all of football right now. Okay, as much as I love Sam Mustipher the person, Sam Mustipher the player has been one of the worst in the NFL. Okay, allowing instant pressure and making our other guards look worse than they actually are because they have to compensate for Mustipher's mistakes. So Mustipher in the center, man, he's been very bad on the right side too with with the right tackle. We had Ifedi out for a couple weeks. We had Simmons come in recently, the last game, the 4th stringer, and Simmons was one of the worst tackles I've ever seen play football for the Chicago Bears. Okay, he had a passing block grade from PFF of 0.0. That means he literally did nothing the entire afternoon. So we're hoping that Larry Borum coming back this week, the 5th round rookie, maybe he's going to play right tackle, or maybe Elijah Wilkinson might come back from the COVID list. So we do have more options this week at right tackle, but it's still not a great pass blocking offensive line. And also, if you look at the receivers, man, they have not been good at all this year, guys. Okay, we're bottom 10 in drops this year and also bottom 10 in separation as well. So our receivers can't separate, and they also have been pretty bad at catching the football consistently for Justin Fields. Darnell Mooney had 2 drops the last game. Al Robinson, he also had a drop earlier this season on a dime from Justin Fields for a touchdown. He also had another drop a couple weeks ago. So, man, dropping the ball has been an issue for our receivers. They can't separate either. And if you look at our tight ends, man, they have also been bad. Okay, Jimmy Graham didn't play the last game due to COVID. I don't know if he's playing in this game coming up. Jesper Horsted the last game, he mistimed his jump, which if he timed that right, that would have been a touchdown. Cole Kmet has been one of the worst receiving tight ends in all of football this year. He's a great blocking tight end, but catching the football, man, he's not been consistent in doing that and also in getting open. So our receivers, our tight ends have not been helping Justin Fields out at all this year. Obviously, play calling has played a big factor in that though as well, guys. I mean, we have probably some of the worst play callers in the league right now. Half the plays I really can't understand what the Bears are trying to accomplish, and that's why our passing offense and our offense overall is completely broken. Talking about the Bears defense though, man, it's coming off their worst performance of the entire season, going up against Tom Brady and the Bucks. They allowed 38 total points, over 400 yards of total offense. So obviously last weekend against the Bucks, they were not good whatsoever. But aside from that game, guys, they actually haven't been a bad defense at all this year. In fact, they've been quite good in most games this year. They're number 11 in total yards given up. They're number 14 in points allowed. They're the number 8 pass defense and number 23 run defense. So if you look at the numbers all across the board, man, they aren't that bad. Okay, if you also look at the turnovers that we forced, we're top half of the league in turnovers forced. If you look at the sacks that we forced, we're actually the best team in the NFL in total sacks. So we have 21 sacks on the year, tied with the Minnesota Vikings. So this defense, man, does a lot of things right, but they might be losing their biggest superstar in this game. Khalil Mack is expected to miss this upcoming game with a foot injury, according to Ian Rappaport on Wednesday. Okay, so I'm recording this video on Wednesday night. This might change by the time you're watching the video. I hope it changes, but as of the time I'm recording this video, Khalil Mack is not going to be playing in this game, which is a huge loss for the Bears defense. Okay, by far their biggest superstar, the guy that opposing offenses, man, they have to game plan for. Okay, they have to chip block him, they have to put extra guys on him, and not having him there, man, it's going to make things way harder on the Bears defense. But the good news is, guys, that we should be getting Robert Quinn back from the COVID list. So last game Quinn didn't play, but he should be coming back for this game, which is obviously very good because he's also one of the league leaders in sacks this year. So getting him back is going to be huge for the Bears defense. But overall, man, otherwise, like, the Bears secondary is pretty young right now. So we got Kindle Vildor, Jalen Johnson, Duke Shelley, who are all, they have very little experience in the league. So they have been making their fair share of mistakes. Jalen Johnson has been pretty good on occasion, but he got burnt last weekend multiple times going up against Mike Evans and other guys as well. So young secondary will make mistakes here and there, but overall, they have been solid for what I thought they were going to be. Okay, I thought we might have one of the worst secondaries in the league this year. They have not been one of the worst up to this point in time. Now let me get to my 3 keys to Bears victory. Okay, how can the Chicago Bears actually win this game against the Niners? And key number 1, guys, is going to be to run, and run some more. Okay, the only good thing the Bears can do on offense is running the football. And if that's the only good thing you can do, just stick with it probably the entire game. That's the only way we can move the football down the field. That's the only way we can actually put up points. And, you know, judging by how this game is probably going to go, okay, both offenses are very good rushing offenses, but pretty bad passing offenses. I feel like the better rushing team is going to win this, and that should be the Chicago Bears. Okay, just keep on feeding Khalil Herbert, because even against the better run defenses in the NFL, we have not been stopped until this point. Khalil Herbert going up against the Bucs defense, the best rushing defense in all of football. Okay, they hadn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in like a long time, and Khalil Herbert actually got it going up against that defense. So if we can do that against the Bucs defense, why can we not do that against the number 20th ranked run defense? So I'm thinking, man, Khalil Herbert should easily be getting at least 20 carries, probably more. Damian Williams should be back too, so maybe give him some carries too here and there. But if you want to score points, man, the only thing that actually works is running the football, so why not stick with it? So that's key number one, guys. Key number two then is going to be to have a higher percentage of play action passes for our rookie quarterback. We do not make things easier whatsoever for this rookie, okay? We have to remember he is still a rookie, so on some plays, he's going to need some help, okay, from our offensive line, from our receivers to get open, and they're not providing him with any of that help whatsoever, okay? Usually rookie quarterbacks, they get play action bootlegs, they get rollouts, they get stuff that kind of splits the field in half for them, so it makes it easier to read the field and know where to go with the football. But Matt Nagy refuse to do that for Justin Fields. Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence both have double the amount of play action passes than Justin Fields has at this point in time, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I don't get why we're doing that. So in this game, man, I want some more play action for Justin Fields. Okay, Justin Fields has a passer rating of 97.6 on play action passes. Way better than, every other pass that he's attempted. So why not stick with the stuff that's actually working? Okay, I'm not trying to say that every pass has to be play action, but try to throw the defense off at least a little bit to the point where they're not expecting a pass on passing downs, because our offensive line and pass protection has been pretty bad to this point this year. So why not throw the defense off at least a little bit to have them expect a run when actually it's going to be a pass? And then finally, key number three, guys, is going to be to feast on some Jimmy G mistakes. Okay, I guarantee you, with how Jimmy G has played up to this point this year, he is going to make mistakes in this game, guys. Okay, he's not been a good deep ball passer. He's had a couple bad interceptions. And, I think that Jimmy G is probably the worst quarterback our defense has played this year, aside from Jared Goff. And we made light work of Jared Goff. Okay, Jared Goff had multiple turnovers going up against our defense, and he got sacked a lot of times too. So I'm thinking that, our pass rush should be on point this game. I know we're probably going to be missing Khalil Mack, but even just Robert Quinn, man, if Trent Williams especially is not playing, he should have some success going up against his 49ers offensive line. Also our interior, man, Bilal Nichols, Eddie Goldman, they got to be showing up in this game, okay, getting that pressure from the inside as well. And, our cornerbacks or safeties, man, they have to be ready to catch the football when Jimmy G tosses them a pretty bad pass. I think that whichever team gets the most turnovers, guys, they're probably going to win this game, because I expect it to be a pretty low-scoring game. So hopefully, man, we can force Jimmy G into making some pretty bad mistakes. And finally, guys, it's time for my score prediction for this game. Who do I have win this matchup? And I have the Chicago Bears going into Soldier Field and beating the 49ers by a score of 16-14. A very low-scoring game, probably a boring game to the casual viewer, but hey, if the Bears win, that's all I care about. And the reason I'm saying this is because I truly feel like, guys, being at home, going up against Jimmy Garoppolo, our defense should have a very good day this Sunday, okay? They've been pretty good against the non-elite quarterbacks on their schedule. Like, for example, Jared Goff, we dominated him at home. He had multiple turnovers. We had, a couple sacks as well. So I really feel like, man, our defense going up against Jimmy G, we could probably do pretty well for some turnovers as well. And, running the football is probably the only thing we can actually do well. And thankfully for us, the 49ers run defense isn't that good, okay? They have the number 20 ranked run defense. So I really feel like Khalil Herbert, man, he should go off in this one, hopefully have over 100 yards. And I feel like Justin Fields, in the passing attack, we can do just enough to put up 16 points, which hopefully should be enough to win this game. It's not going to be an impressive victory by any means. I think it's going to be a very close game, come down to the last second, but I think the Bears are going to be less bad than the 49ers on offense, which is why we're going to win this game. For my offensive MVP for this game, it's obviously going to be KHALIL Herbert. He's the only guy on the offense that consistently is giving, a very good effort for us to keep performing at a very high level. I think that KHALIL Herbert can have over 100 yards again and probably be our best player on the offense. So obviously KHALIL Herbert, the offense MVP. For defense MVP, I have that being ROQUAN Smith. I feel like, stopping the running backs is going to be crucial in this game because, also the 49ers, they pretty much can only run the football as well, right? So I think that ROQUAN Smith in run defense, he's going to have to be huge, okay? He's going to have to plug those gaps. He's going to have a great tackling effort too, and he's going to have a good performance if we want to hold this, 49ers offense to only scoring 14 points. I think he's capable of doing that. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video, guys. I have the Bears winning in a close one. Definitely leave your comments down below. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Who do you think is going to win? I understand a lot of Bears fans are pretty upset with the team right now, rightfully so, because they haven't given us much to cheer for at this point this season, okay? Our offense is historically bad. We haven't been getting much excitement from a rookie quarterback just yet because really seems like our offense is broken, but I'm praying we can somehow turn things around this weekend, okay? Hopefully my prediction is wrong and we can score, 21, 24, 30 points, but at this point, man, I can't predict that to happen, okay? Based on everything I've seen at this point in time, but hopefully I'm wrong. But either way, guys, I'm looking forward to being at this game. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Leave your comments down below, but as always, bear down.